Good morning, everyone. Oh man, sorry guys, I calculate the timing wrong. Okay. Woo. Sorry for being late, everyone. So, Judith, are you here? Hello? Can you hear me? Hey, I see you now. So sorry for being late. I thought it was 8 o'clock my time, but I thought it's 8 o'clock my time, but it's actually 7. 3 hours. I don't know why I did 2 hours into 3 hours.
Oh wow. Where are you now?
I'm in California. All these changing places is screwing me up with the time. So apologize for being late. Let's see. I just woke up actually. But we have 6 people here. Thank you for being here. Let's see. So where are you now, Judith?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Okay,
Yeah,
let me I need to get the presentation started. Okay. All right, so we can get started now. Okay. So hi everyone, my name is Brian Kwong, and I am the founder of the Add1Challenge. And today we're going to talk about how to stay motivated with 3 secrets. And I'm just going to jump right in because let me see. Okay, share my screen. So before we start, let's try something because there's going to be a lot of interaction. Hey, okay, cool. You guys can hear us. Cool. Okay, so see the chat on the right-hand side? All right. So before we start, we're going to have a lot of interaction in this webinar. Why don't you type in where you're from and also what language you want to learn first. So there will be a slight, Judith, there will be slight delay. Can you see the chat on the right-hand side, Judith?
Yes, I see it.
Cool. There will be a slight delay usually when I ask a question. There will be a slight delay with the chat. So I guess I'll talk to you while we're waiting for the response to come in. What language are you working on any language right now, or are you planning to start in a language? Or
well, I'm traveling, so I'm finding it less easy to find time to learn languages. Meanwhile, but I have planned to spend the rest of the year improving the languages that I already studied. Like earlier this year, I was doing Hebrew, and I still have a bit of a way to go with that. And then next year, I'm thinking either Vietnamese or Swedish, or Norwegian.
Ah, you told me about Vietnamese last time.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Next year. Oh yeah, now I just realized October already. So next year is coming up soon. So everybody, type in where you're from and what language you are learning or you want to learn. Okay, Nina. Indonesian.
Indonesian is fun. I can recommend it.
Yeah, you learned some Indonesian, right?
Mm-hmm.
You did a speech, remember, before. I don't know what. Okay, so this works. Anybody else is learning any languages? All right. Okay. So let's see. 7 people. All right. Cool. So we're just gonna keep going then. Let's see. Can you see my screen? Learning Russian. Awesome. All right. Can you see my screen? Can you see my slides?
I can see them.
Okay, great. Okay. Cool. So let's go jump right in. Okay, secret number 1. Okay. Environment matters. Okay, the answer is coming in. It's learning German. Okay, great. Oh, okay. Can you guys see it now? Other people said they can only see you. Can you guys see the slides now?
Maybe they need to activate this webinar slide sharing thing. I had to go through I had to click continue or something, and then after that I saw this part.
Oh, okay. Now they can see it now. I just need to click on the. I can't see or hear anything when you want. That's Chinese internet for you. Okay, maybe there's a little bit of lag or something. Because I just need to press on my slides. Earlier I had your screen on. You're still sitting Judith. Okay, so maybe there's a little. Okay, you can't see my slides. But I think there's a little lag when they. Okay, now you can see. Okay, great. Okay, people can see it now. Okay, secret number 1: environment matters. So how many of you have friends that are eager to do this with you? Okay, let's see. How do you do this faster? Let's learn a language together. If you have friends or brothers, sisters, parents, or boyfriend, girlfriend, your husband or wife are eager to do this with you, let's learn a language together. How many of you have these kind of people around you? Type in yes or no in the chat box. See, everybody can see now. See, there's slight lag. Do you have people around you that's ready to let's learn a language together with you?
Yeah, my boyfriend is into languages as well, and we've been thinking of studying language together. And I also have my best friend. She is also a language geek, so the crazier languages, I can try to convince her to learn with me.
Oh, who's your best friend? Have I met her yet?
Kat. You may have met her at the Polyglot gathering, but she's not on Facebook.
Oh, I see. So you have people around you are ready to go, let's learn a language together. Okay, someone said no. A wonderful new tools like, okay, learning German. Sagar, that's a very normal thing that we get distracted by different languages. Just kind of, Nina. Norwegian's German. Oh.
Norwegian starting January, maybe.
All right. Okay, we got a no. We got a kind of from Nina. I have a suspicion that Nina is also part of the Add1Challenge. Victoria, still nothing. Let me try. Let me tell if she can't. Victoria, maybe restart, exit, and come back in. Okay, so okay, all right. So most of us, most of our self-learners are environment. For most people, and not like most people, meaning the people around us usually don't understand what we're going through, because most of us don't have um, people around us that are ready to go say, let's learn a language together. And most of them don't understand. And Judith, you understand. I think is it always like this, that you have people around you that they're willing to do this with you, or you kind of built your environment like that?
You definitely have to pay attention to your environment and see what you can do to motivate people. I'm still, I think, the person who studies the most languages and the most
Yeah.
often in my environment. I can
Yeah.
convince some people to do it with me.
Yeah. I see. Exactly. So we are paying attention to environment. Why? Because when we're learning, if we're not when we're learning in an environment that's supportive, that's positive, and learning, doing something together, there's magic. There's magic in doing something together. Many of us have done like group projects or play team sports together, right? So what is some benefit of doing something together with a supportive and like-minded and positive environment? Let's see. Saga, can you answer what are some benefits of doing something together in a like-minded, positive, and supportive environment? Everybody in chat box, type your answers. Judith, what are some benefits?
Well, you just hang on longer because you have other people who are also doing it, and you can't like let them down, or you can't do worse than them. And
Yeah,
when you're not so motivated, that can help a lot. And of course, if you're all studying the same language at the same level, or if one of you is more advanced even, then you can also exchange tips about how you're doing something, or explain things to each other. And
I'm playing squash with a friend now. Why are you in the webinar? Ah, okay, I see. So you understand why doing something together in like-minded environment is important. You know, you make it easier to play and get some activity going.
mm-hmm.
Ah, you got it. It's hard to come up with excuses not to study when you're in like-minded environment. Exactly, exactly. So when you're doing something together in a like-minded and positive environment, magic happens. And so when I was doing my first Learn German in 3 months challenge, I didn't have anywhere to go to, so I just basically start posting my updates in Benny Lewis's Fluent in 3 months forum. And there was this guy named Byron John. And Byron John was living in New York at the time, and he's living in Hawaii right now. He started learning Mandarin around the same time as I was doing German. And every time that I feel like I didn't feel like learning. Every time I got frustrated, or every time that I wanted to quit, I would go to the forum and read Byron Jones' update on his Mandarin progress. And even though he was like halfway around the world, at the time I was living in Austria, I get inspired and energized every time that I was reading his update, just because I know someone is going through the same thing with me, sharing the same struggles, or sharing the small little victories that we have. So after I completed my challenge, as you can see, I completed my challenge, and my goal was to have a 15-minute conversation with my ex-father-in-law, and once I did that, I felt great, and so I basically sent Byron John a message. I said, "Hey Brian John, thank you so much for posting your updates. Every time I read your updates, I get inspired, and without you, I might have not have able to finish my challenge." And he sent me he sent me a message right back. He said, Brian, what are you talking about? Every time that I want to quit, I was reading your updates. Every time that I get frustrated, I was reading your updates. So thank you for inspiring me. And this is exactly when I thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool if we all motivate each other and support each other together as a community and all strive for the same goal of holding that 15-minute conversation in 90 days together. And that's how the Add1Challenge got started. So no matter if you join the Add1Challenge or not, look for and surround yourself with people who are learning a language with you, people who are supported around you, just like how Judith said. It wasn't always like that. You start paying attention. You start building a community around you to support you. So for example, you can go to meetup.com to find language exchange groups to meet up. You can go to the Polyglot conference in New York or Polyglot gathering in Berlin, where you can meet a lot of language learning enthusiasts.
No, the Polyglot conference is over now, so you would have to go to the Polyglot conference in Thessaloniki. Or I hear that there may be something else happening in North America. There's a new Facebook group trying to create a Polyglot symposium, probably in Boston or Montreal.
Yeah, so exactly. So I'll just giving you examples of like what so New York just passed. So the next year's Polyglot conference is in Greece, but next year's Polyglot gathering is actually not that far away, right, Judith?
Yeah, it's gonna be in Berlin again.
It's gonna be Berlin when? What are the dates?
May 5th to the 8th.
May 5th to the 8th. So that's another way to surround yourself with like-minded people. Is there any other tips that you have, Judith, of surrounding yourself people that are like-minded who are into learning languages?
Well, the online communities, for example, the How to Learn Any Language forum is a very good place to find the geekiest language learners. Or Facebook. I mean, if you add people on Facebook who are also into learning languages and you see their updates, and
yeah.
Or I like to add people who often post in my target language. That's also very motivating because I can't get around using the language. Or starting email exchanges with people who speak my target language, so that they write me an email, I have to read it, right? So
Yeah,
I'm doing something.
I see. So find yourself some exchange partners to exchange emails, or add them on Facebook and read their status update. And perfect, great idea. These are new, actually. I haven't heard of these. In terms of adding people like who are like friends in the target language. Cool. Okay, so that's secret number one. Environment matters. So pay attention to environment and surround yourself with like-minded and positive people who support you in your language learning journey. So I want to leave you in this quote to end secret number one. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That's secret number one. Okay. So secret number two. Future. Secret number two is how motivated you are today is determined by what's in your future. Okay. We will send the link. We can send the link. Do you have the link, Judith?
I'm looking for it.
We can just, okay, Judith would send you the link. But we are going to have Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions, let's save all the questions to the end so we can handle them. So number two is how motivated you are today is determined by what's in your future. What the heck does that mean? So let me give you an example. So who's here's been on a date before with someone that you really like? If you've been on a date before, type in the box, let us know. Say yes. If you haven't been on a date before, it's okay. Say no. Judith, have you been on a date before?
Of course.
With someone that you really like? Great. Okay. So let's just say people have been on a date before, okay, because a little bit of delay. So now think back Think back the first time you were about to go on a date with someone you really like. Think back an hour before this date. So how are you feeling an hour before this hot date that's coming up? So type in the box, this I want some interaction. How do you feel an hour before meeting with your date? Judith, how did you feel an hour before with your date?
I'm very nervous, anxious, and worrying.
Yeah,
But
okay.
also happy. I mean, it's the mix.
Yeah, okay. Ooh, a mix of happy, anxious, worry, nervous. Okay. Stronger than I didn't hear from her. I see. Okay. Well, we need to find you another date, my friend. Okay, so there's a little bit of lag. So most of us will feel anxious, worry, happy, excited. You know, we already feel these things, right? An hour before a date. So what were you doing? So we're feeling that way. I'll just interact with you, I think. What were you doing feeling anxious, worry, nervous, and excited an hour before your date, Judith? What were you doing when you're feeling this way?
I was just going over stuff in my head, and I don't know. I was not doing much.
Were you getting ready, or when you like do your hair, or?
Yeah, of course I was getting ready, but meanwhile I had all these thoughts going through my head.
Yeah. Okay, someone nervous, excited, and on top of the world, paying attention to every little thing. Okay, kind of like what you were saying, going through your head. Like things are going through your head. You're like, what do you do? Like a little like what do I say and what maybe the other person would say? Kind of like doing a little play or something. Like what to say to her, to this person, to your date when you first meet this person.
Yep, definitely.
I see. Okay, great. So this is what I did. Okay. So actually, the point that let me just point out. So your date is in your future. It hasn't happened yet. It's still an hour away, but it's already impacting and affecting you, what you're doing, how you're feeling right now in this moment. Is this clear? Can you see that, Judith?
Yep.
Your date hasn't happened yet, but it's already impact how you're feeling and what you're doing right now in this moment. Do you know what I do an hour before a hot day coming up? What I do is a lot of push-ups, so that my chest would occur a little bit bigger. And so, I can walk around with my chest straight. And so the date hasn't happened yet. It's definitely impacting what I'm doing and how I'm feeling before even it happened. So now, knowing this, that our future can affect how we feel and what we do right now. Now let's think about the most boring language learning activity you've ever done. Everybody, can you type in the box and let us know what is the most boring language learning activity you've ever done before? Please type in the box. Let us know. Judith, what is the most boring language learning activity you've ever done before?
Probably listening to something without understanding. But something that I do regularly. I mean, this just doesn't help me, so it's very boring because it doesn't help me. But I also find flashcards very boring, but those help me to actually do it, but not too often.
Got it. So you find you find it boring, but you still do it because you know it works. Is that why?
Yeah.
I see. I mean, so listen to things that you don't understand, bored you. Is there anything that's like absolutely you know it works, but it's so boring that you just can't help you just can't touch it because it's so boring?
No, usually for me, if I know that something is useful, then I can touch it.
Oh, I see. You just you get over it. You still do it even though it's boring. Got it. Okay, so some other people say Lee said fresh cards, revisions. Ah, I see. You get bored of revision. I see. I get that too. But it works though, you know. As you just said, it works. You got to revise. Okay, so for me, the most boring language learning activity is reading a grammar book. It just doesn't work for me. So every time that I read a grammar book, this is what happens. I fall asleep. I don't know if it's because the grammar book or because the hammock. It could be the hammock. It could be both. But every time I start about to, or when I start reading, maybe even the first page, I'll just want to fall asleep. So, but when I first started learning a language, I thought some expert that I read, some article online that I read, that reading grammar book is the most important, most effective thing. So even though I knew it was boring, I'll still do it, right? I'll still at least try to do it. So I'll schedule, okay, read grammar book, learn German grammar, put it in my schedule. For example, maybe I will schedule it for today at 3 p.m. So 3 p.m. comes around. How motivated do you think I am at 2:45? Not very, right? How do you think I feel right before picking up that grammar book?
Probably awful.
Awful and sleepy. It's so funny. Right before I pick up, like, oh, like what? I open the page. Oh, I opened the book. I flipped the first 2 pages, and I'm pretty close to sleep. So, if what's in your future can impact you both positively and negatively, how can we utilize this? Any ideas, guys? If knowing that what's in the future can impact how motivated you are today, right now, both positively and negatively, how can we utilize this? If you have any idea, type in the box. Judith, what do you think?
We can definitely utilize it. If we set out some rewards in the future, then we're more likely to do something not so fun right now.
Ah, exactly. Ah, so you're putting a reward in the future. So you do it. Okay, any other ideas? Putting rewards in the future, yes, perfect. Let's see, anybody answering? We can also do it another way though. We can also, since that's a positive, right? That's like putting something positive in the future. What do you mean by read? Do you read through a grammar book like a novel, or you do? Wow, that's yeah, I just read. I mean, you read through the grammar book like when you're reading a grammar book, you know. And that's put me to sleep. I think there's a. So the point is just knowing that what's in your future can impact how you feel right now and what your actions right now. So to utilize this, as you just said, put killer rewards, make it fun, create exciting reasons, put exciting reasons in the future, or even horrible punishment, right? The other way around, if that works for you, that could also get you to get in action. These things that you put in the future, so put as many exciting things or horrible, all these things can pull you in the. So what you need to do, they have to be so compelling. Honestly, they have to be really compelling for you. They're so compelling that you put in the future that's pulling you into action from the future. For example, all Add1 challenger will have a chance to win a free round-trip ticket to his or her target country. Now, for some people, this is really big, but some people don't care. But Judith, I don't think that you're. I don't know if you're. Were you excited because Judith, you're in the Add1 challenge too. Were you excited to have the opportunity to win a free round-trip ticket?
It's definitely a nice thought. At the time, I was studying Hebrew, though, and Israel is not that far from Berlin. I could go there basically whenever I wanted. So for me, it was not that big. But I can totally see it if someone is in the USA and studying French or something. That would be a very big thing to be able to travel to France.
Ah, that's why. I see. You can just buy a cheap ticket to Israel. That's why. I see. Okay, so exactly. So Kilo, I mean, it wouldn't do any damage, right, to your motivation. So for example, the first ever award that we gave away, this is the Add1 finale. Oh, Judith was in it too. Judith was in the first ever giveaway with Benny Lewis and Richard Simcoe, and we have 3 finalists in this Add1 finale. And the winner was Jake Brown. He was 14 years old, learning Mandarin from Australia, and he won the Add1 finale, and he got a free round-trip ticket to Beijing. So he went to Beijing with his mom because he's only 14 years old. His mom paid for everything else, of course. I only paid for the round-trip ticket, and that's him on the Great Wall. How amazing is that? Just imagine when you're a 14-year-old, you learn a language for 90 days, and you won a free round-trip ticket to your target language country, and you get to go there to feel the culture, eat the food, and practice speaking Mandarin. How cool is that? So if you ask Jake if that gave him some motivation, he would definitely say yes. I knew this motivated him. Why? Because right before we start the Add1 challenge, he specifically emailed me. He said, Brian, is there an age limit to join the Add1 challenge? Can I win the prize? I'm only 14 years old. So I knew that this was in his mind, and I replied to him and said, as long as your parents are paying for everything else and allow you to go, yes, you can join the Add1 challenge. So that definitely motivated him to work hard. So secret number 2 is how motivated you are today is determined by what's in your future. So put as many exciting things, killer rewards, or horrible punishment in your future. They're so compelling that will pull you into action today. So that's secret number 2. Secret number 3 is utilize the power of your word. So what does that mean? Don't worry, I'll give you some example. Okay, who here have ever used Duolingo or memorized before? Judith, have you ever used Duolingo or memorized before?
Yeah, of course. I was visiting Duolingo yesterday.
You're using Duolingo yesterday. Okay. So.
No, visiting. I was at the office actually, talking to them about how to improve the system. But that's because I used it so much that I have some pretty concrete ideas of what they could do better.
I see. So Judith was in the Duolingo office yesterday, so I hope you use the Duolingo. Great. So I guess you use Duolingo. And have you ever had let's see. Have you ever had a hot streaks before?
Yep. They make you have these streaks.
Yes. So
it's like don't break the chain.
It was like what? What did you say? But only for a week. Yes, I understand. So, but so let's look at this. So hot streaks. So you have hot streaks before. So why does hot streaks work? Let's see your answers. Why does hot streak work? Why do they motivate you? Judith, why do you think hot streak works?
Because it reminds you of your achievement.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure. It just feels like you've come this far, you can't stop now.
Uh-huh. You come to start far, you can't stop now. It reminds you of your achievement. Yeah. These are correct. All these answers, there's no right or wrong answers, right? Whatever works for you, really. The most important thing is effective, that gets you to do work. But I want you I want to invite you to consider this. Why hot streak works. They work because at some point in time, you told yourself, you said, I'm going to do a Duolingo lesson or memorize lesson today. So at some point in time, you said, I'm going to do a memorize or Duolingo lesson today. And how did you feel when you complete that Duolingo lesson that first day? How did you feel, Judith?
Well, it's such an achievement.
You
I feel good about it.
Yeah, you feel good about it. Exactly. Yes. Why? Maybe because you did what you said you would do. And at the same time, you also made a little progress in your language, right? That's another reason why you feel good, right?
Yep.
So let's say you do this 5 days in a row. Yay, 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 yay. You got a hot streak going on. You feel even more amazing. Because you did what you said you would do for 5 days in a row. And at the same time, you're progressing your language learning. So doing what you said you do give you power, satisfaction, and confidence about yourself. And at the same time, advancing your language when we're doing language learning activities. Another way to look at it is that when you do what you said you do, you're giving power to your word. Is this clear, Judith?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With all that said, you can also give away our word's power. If you can give power to your word by doing what you said you would do, how do you give your word's power away? So let me give you an example. You can give away your word's power by doing this. So for example, I say to myself, I'm going to go work out at 5 p.m. today. And 5 p.m. comes around and I'm very, very busy. What am I busy doing? On Facebook. And then I tell myself, oh, I am tired. I need to, do some work later. Okay. I'll go tomorrow for sure. But no matter how good your reasons are, how do you feel about yourself when you know you didn't give 100% to do what you said you would do? How do you feel?
I feel pretty awful.
You feel pretty crappy and awful, right? You start beating yourself up, like, oh, I should have went to the gym. I'm so lazy. Because deep inside, you know you could have went to the gym if you gave your 100%, but you didn't. And do you trust yourself next time when you say you're going to the gym at 5 p.m.? Would you trust yourself? No,
Not
right?
quite.
No, right? You wouldn't trust yourself. So this is how we give away our words power. So when you do what you said you do, you add power to yourself and to your word. And when you don't do what you said you would do, you take away power from what you do. So why is this important? This is important is because imagine a life when you say X, then X happens. Imagine you say, I'm going to have a 15-minute conversation in Mandarin in 90 days, no matter what. And this 15-minute conversation happens in 90 days just because you said so. How cool would that be, and how would you feel about yourself? Pretty amazing, right? And this applies to everything in life. Now, you may not keep all your words, but it's a practice to keep getting yourself back up and going back at it. And you may not get every result that you want, but if you're practicing giving 100% and giving power to your word, you get a lot more result than you've ever thought possible. So now let's put it in the context of language learning. How can we apply this to language learning? This is how we can apply it. Create a weekly goal of the time that you spend in your language. And remember, this is very, very important. You start small. Take it one yay at a time, one little power at a time. Remember that first Duolingo lesson? You give power to your word a little bit of time, like a video game. So, for example, this is a weekly goal that you can create for yourself. That's very easy, that anybody can do. For example, 5 days a week, 30 minutes a day for 90 days. And you take on this challenge of giving a word to your power. So this way, you're getting power, you're giving yourself power, confidence, and advancing your language at the same time. How cool is that? Is this cool, Judith?
Very cool.
Very cool, very cool. So secret number 3 is to utilize the power of your word to stay motivated while you're learning your language, and continue to give yourself power, and start small. And once, if you didn't fulfill your word, just let it go and go back at it again and continue to build power for your word. Anything you want to say, Judith? Anything you want to say about this, or anything you see, or you want to add? Judith?
No, I think it captures it pretty well.
Okay, great. Okay, great. So that's secret number 3. So to recap, secret number 1, environment matters. Put yourself in a like-minded, positive communities and environment who are striving for the same goal together with you, both online and offline. Secret number 2 is future. How motivated you are today is determined by what's in your future. So put as many reasons, killer rewards, or horrible punishment, whatever works for you, in your future. And they have to be so important to you and so compelling that they will pull you into action today from your future. That's secret number 2. Secret number 3 is that practice giving power to your word by starting with small goals. Build it up bit by bit to give confidence and fulfillment to yourself, and advancing on your target language at the same time. So these 3 secrets will not only empower you to stay motivated in your language learning journey, if you take it on, practice it, and apply it to your life, they will also empower you to reach your language learning goal and create the life that you love. So Judith, any thoughts about these 3 things that we covered? Any things that you want to add in? Any stories, examples?
I think it's I think it's very very important. I have been doing this to some extent, like you said, with the Indonesian challenge that I set myself to be able to give a talk in Indonesian, like a short talk, just 5 to 10 minutes after 6 months study. After six weeks study, and I knew that I would have to give that talk. I mean, it was a speaking competition at the Indonesian embassy, and so I had this goal, and then knew what I needed to do, and I managed to study more than otherwise. But still, I did not really have the environment for it. I was the only one learning Indonesian. I didn't have Indonesian friends at the time, and so I think each of the points that you have is very important.
Great, and so at some extent, I think if we got this far, we probably implement a few of these things, a little bit of these things, a few of these things, to get to where we are, to achieve something, right? So now, the Add1 challenge is integrated with all these 3 things in the all these secrets were integrated in the Add1Challenge. That's how I created it. Do you see that, how I integrate everything in the Add1Challenge, Judith? Because you did it Add1Challenge before.
Yes, it's a combination of all three, and it works really well.
It's a combination of all three, and I knew this. That's why I put all these things together and I know that everyone's different, and everyone get motivated by different things, which is why I created all these different kind of motivator to get as many, to help motivate as many people as possible. Which is why it still works, because I don't motivate people with just one thing. I motivate with people with many different things. That's why I integrate this. That's how I built the Add1Challenge. And this is why it works. And you can start the Add1Challenge from scratch or at one level. Judith, what do you think about starting from scratch, or because I think you did both, right? You started Hebrew from scratch, correct?
Yeah, the first time I did 2 Add1Challenges. The first time was Hebrew from scratch, and it worked really, really well. I studied more Hebrew in that time frame than I ever thought possible. And then I did a second Add1Challenge to improve on this, and it also helped me to reach a whole new level.
I see, great. So you can, and also at the same time, you don't have to be what's great thing about the Add1Challenge is that there are many people who are in the Add1Challenge with many different language learning experience. Some people are like Judith, can hold a conversation with many different languages. Some people just start in the first ever foreign language. So by exchanging different ideas, we get to help each other. So this is what you get in the Add1Challenge. Okay, I need to scroll down here. So what Add1Challenge includes is a community of passionate language learners around the world where we can learn and have a blast together. Number 2, we have a 90 days Add1Challenge course. So what happens is the duration of Add1Challenge is 90 days. Everybody who joins Add1Challenge start and end together on day 1 to day 90. So I have a sense of where people will lack motivation or what's coming up for people. So I created a 90-day Add1Challenge course to warn people or give advice to people ahead of time. And you also get a 90 days of email support. And you get assignments and mini challenges within the Add1Challenge. Mini challenge, or what do you think about the mini challenges in Add1Challenge, Judith?
I think they're really helpful, and they're placed at the right time. Like one of the mini challenges is to study with different teachers, to try out different teachers. I think 3 different ones that you have, or native speakers that you haven't talked to before. And it's so easy to just get in a rhythm of always talking Hebrew with the same person, and then you never try anything else, and eventually it gets boring to talk to that person, and you don't have a backup ready, and you don't know anyone else that you could talk to. And yeah, so I found it really helpful.
Yeah, so the mini challenges are designed to help you get closer to the goal of having that 15-minute conversation in 90 days. So that's why I place it in different times that will help people get toward those goals. And we have the burning question hangout, where we just every month we will have a session of where you can ask your burning questions, because in different stages you have questions about language learning, about motivation, about materials, or whatever it is that you can ask an experienced polyglot in a hangout directly. And we have accountability tracking sheet where everybody in the Add1Challenge, so as we said earlier, we have a weekly goal, right? Everybody has a weekly goal. So whenever you did your work that day, you go in this accountability tracking sheet and type, yay, you did it, or no, you didn't do it, or you're on a break. So everybody can see everybody's work. We have unique language learning resources, where we even have like a list of good language teachers on iTalki. We have a list of favorites TV show. We have a list of favorite songs and target languages. So we have all these things that gathered by previous Add1 challenges, which is really helpful. And then And then one more thing is you have a chance to win a free round trip ticket to your target language. How cool is that? So Add1Challenge is changing people's lives. And I know that it's making a big difference to language learners around the world. Just to give you a few examples, Jake, 14 years old, learned Mandarin, went on this trip of his dreams, and he loved China. He loved to go back again. And Kevin Richardson, he done the first ever Add1Challenge. He's 46 years old, and in 1999 he was in Japan on the way to the airport, and he told himself, he said, "I'm gonna move to Japan one day, but I have to learn Japanese first." And that was in 1999. So in 2013, that's when I started the Add1Challenge. He did the first Add1Challenge ever. That gave him confidence that, oh, I can actually possibly be fluent in Japanese. In the second Add1Challenge, he quit his job. In the third Add1Challenge, he moved to Japan. And now he's living in Japan, teaching English, almost finished 1 year now. Now I think he's going to do it in a year. As you can see him in this picture, him and his Japanese wife in a castle. Nikki's awesome. She's 72 years old. He won actually not the most recent one, actually the one before that. She's learning this rare language called Kamaji, is a dialect of Kurdish. What do you think about Nikki? Nikki is very. Judith, you interact with Nikki before? You see her posts?
Yeah, she's a very positive person. I like her.
Yeah, she's great. So she's 72 years old. So we had a 14-year-old and we had a 72-year-old in this Add1Challenge. So there's really no excuse. It doesn't really matter how old you are. You can learn the language if you do the right thing, if you know how to motivate yourself and keep your consistency going, you definitely learn the language that you always want to speak. So if you can hold a 15-minute conversation in 90 days, what is it worth to you? And the Add1Challenge with all these things is actually very, very, I think it gives a lot of value, and it's really not expensive at all. It's only $97, an investment of $97 for 90 days. So it's only a little bit more than $1 a day. And if you'd like to sign up right now, let me put in the offer right now. Add1Challenge, load. Okay. If you sign up right now, you get the bonus. You get Judith's bonus. Actually, you said everybody who participates get the bonus, right, Judith?
Mm.
Okay. So if you sign up right now, you can click. You would like to sign up right now. You can apply right now. We are just starting right now. We open to accept application right now. So there's an application process, and you can apply right now. We'll close the application on the 21st, and everybody who apply right now will get a bonus from Judith and also get a bonus from me. The bonus that you get is basically, as we said earlier, one of the things that you get is that every month we'll have a burning question hangout with a polyglot, and we've done many of these so far. So what I noticed is that people start asking the same question again and again and again. So what we did was go back to all the videos that we had. We transcribe all the video in text, and we group all the best question and answer together in this category, in the same category. So we have a category for motivation, we have categories of speaking, we have categories of memorizing vocabulary and things like that. So all in the package, all in a PDF file. So if you sign up in this webinar, you will get this bonus. And if you click apply right now, it will ask you if you'd like to get you want to pay extra money for that. So just ignore it. You get the bonus. So how you get the bonus in this bonus is that email me. Once you signed up, email me and say, hey, I was in Judith's webinar with you. Can I get the bonus? And I'll email you back to give you a bonus. So that's all we got today. oh, the first 30 get bonus. Well, anybody there's less than 30 people in this webinar, so everybody who signed up gets the bonus. So it's Q&A time. So I don't know if you have any questions. So we still have people in this webinar. So if you have any questions right now, you can ask any question to Judith or me.
I still wanted to say that everyone who's in this webinar is getting my little language learning plan. It's a PDF that I will send out by email.
Nice, nice. What is your?
It's not as good as like a huge compilation of all these answers, but it's what I think works best for me.
I see. Well, I don't. What I have don't have a plan, so that would be perfect. So, that's great. Thanks, Judith. So, you guys have any questions? Actually, anything else you want to say, Judith?
Just that it really matters to be accountable to yourself. It's the biggest improvement I've seen in my language learning. And you know, I've been learning languages for say 20 years now. Yes, 20 years.
Wow.
And the time I really saw myself take off is when I set myself goals, and I started using a spreadsheet where I could mark down that I actually did something this day or previous day, and I could see that I was making progress towards that goal.
Yeah.
Because before there were always times when I thought I had done something pretty recently, and then if I actually looked at my spreadsheet, that says, yeah, the week before last, you last did something. I don't know. It's our memory that tricks us. We think we think that we did something much more recently than we actually did.
Yeah.
It's a bad. Everyone does though. If you're thinking back to a specific instance, when did you last do this? And you usually come up with something, and it feels much more recent than it actually was. So when I started tracking what I did, I saw a huge improvement, because I noticed, hey, I haven't done anything like this. I need to do something. I need to do something. Yes, being accountable is key.
Got it.
Reading in a foreign language, I see a question about that.
Yeah.
No, definitely don't consult a dictionary every time, because that's just going to be very boring, and you're going to hate reading. You should enjoy reading. Focus on the enjoyment. You can look up words when they hinder your enjoyment of the book. When you've seen them a bunch of times and you really want to know what they mean, then you can look them up in a dictionary. But otherwise, I would not look them up. And as an alternative, you could read something online, or see if you can find this book as a digital text, and then you can click on any word and see the translation if you have like a browser plugin like ReadLang or something similar. Because it's much faster than using a dictionary. You just click on a word and you see the translation, and then you can continue reading. So it helps you learn more words, but it doesn't slow you down like looking up in a dictionary every time, and then you lose track of where you were and you forgot about the story. And no, don't find, you cannot find the exact meaning. You cannot, because in a dictionary you only get an approximation. The words just don't map between languages. If you have a really good dictionary, then you will find like 50 translations for any word.
Oh yeah.
So it's just because the words don't map across languages. The only way you can ever get an exact feel of what this word really means is if you encounter it a lot. If you read a lot and you encounter it in many different situations, and then you'll start to use the word correctly and intuitively.
I see.
Okay, learning the script of a language. Yes, I have a method for that, which involves learning one letter at a time and using familiar words like place names or cognates to help you understand what you're seeing. I can give you an example of this method for Korean, which is on my website. Let me give you the address. And I also published a book using this method for Arabic, and I wrote a similar course which is on Wikibooks for modern Greek. And I wrote a document, but only I haven't really published it online anywhere, for Cyrillic, Ukrainian Cyrillic based on Esperanto. So yeah, if you have any, which language, which script are you trying to learn?
I think if it's the same Nina, once you can hold a 15-minute conversation in your target language, what would you do to make yourself sound more coherent and native? Judith?
Well, at that point, you've gone past the most difficult part. So at that point, you just keep talking and keep getting better. I mean, at some point, you might want to learn vocabulary that you've encountered in conversations or that you've heard on TV. But the whole point of being able to have a 15-minute conversation is that you can talk to friends. And as you talk to friends and you exchange emails and you hang out together, you just naturally your language keeps improving. You don't even have to do anything in particular for it. As long as you keep doing that regularly, you cannot but get better. And you will speak better, you will sound more native just as you keep using the language. Burmese, yeah, I haven't created a course for Burmese. I cannot read it myself, but I have an algorithm that kind of creates basic structures of these script lessons. So I might be able to wing something. I'm not sure if I have enough raw material to create a course for Burmese. I can try running my script over it, see what gives.
Have you seen Burmese script before?
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
Yeah, so beautiful.
I just
love
can't
the realm.
read it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a programmer, so I created this a computer which creates courses.
Oh, really? How cool is that? You create a computer that creates courses. Wow. Okay, I'm speechless. All right.
Just a skeleton of courses. Yeah.
Just what? Just what?
Might be able to do something.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that sounds intriguing. Yeah, tell me about it. I'm speechless when I heard that. All right. So thank you everyone who attended the webinar. Thank you for your time and hope you got something out of it. And if you'd like to join the Add1Challenge, you can apply now. We close on the 21st. So we hope to learn the language together with you in the Add1Challenge. Thank you.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. Thanks for coming. Bye.